guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I'm sorry I missed a couple of uploads, but if you saw my video, I think it was Monday of last week that I posted, I came down with like a really nasty cold over Memorial Day weekend, and I basically spent the entire last week coughing and blowing my nose every 5 seconds. So I really just, I didn't really want you guys to have to see that and watch me be gross, so I decided to take a little break and rest up. I am starting to feel much better, so that is good. But yeah, I wanted to share with you guys today the products from May that I've been using that I've been absolutely loving. Some of these are like old rediscovered favorites, some of them are new things that I've just been trying out, so we will get into that in just a moment. But first, I want to say hello and welcome to any of you who are new here to my channel. My name is Lauren. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I upload, theoretically, new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I also am starting a series on Sundays where I share some more life-oriented perspective things. One of my other hats that I wear in the real world is a life coach or women's empowerment coach, so I kind of wanted to bring more of that energy to you guys, so I'm going to be doing that on Sundays. But we have got a lot to cover today, so let's get into my favorite products from the month of May. So one of the more exciting things that happened last month was that I was reached out to from Sigma, and they asked me if I wanted to try some of their products. And that was the first time I was ever receiving PR from them, and I basically freaked out a little bit. Sigma's one of those brands, if you've been a member of the beauty community for a while, that has a reputation of having really excellent makeup brushes. They are a little bit more expensive, but they are seen as an investment because they last really well and they perform beautifully, and I have always wanted to try them. And honestly, the only reason I think that I had never gone out and purchased them myself is that when you have a lot of makeup brushes already, which I do, it's kind of hard to justify spending the extra money, especially when there are other products I wanted to try. And it was one of those things that I always was like, someday I'm gonna treat myself and I'll get around to it, because I'd heard so many amazing things. So I was completely floored when they reached out to me and were like, hey, we really like your work and we'd like to send you some stuff. I basically died a little inside. So honestly, I understand the hype now that I've been playing around with their brushes and some of their makeup products for the last month. They are amazing. They really are great, and yes, they are definitely a little bit more expensive. I mean, they're not like insane. I mean, you're not talking like Tom Ford, $80 for a brush kind of a deal, but you are looking at the majority of their brushes probably in the $15 to $18 range. Some are more, some are less, but they're so good, and I've been using them a ton. I've been absolutely loving them. Some of them are dirty because I used them today. So they sent me the Sigma Flat Top Kabuki F80 brush. This is one of those staple brushes from Sigma that so many influencers talk about. I use this to apply my foundation today, and it really does a beautiful job of applying cream and liquid foundations. I've been absolutely loving this. It's been washing really well. It doesn't shed on me. I think this is going to be something I'll be using for a long time to come. But what I've been like especially impressed by, or what's really helped me, are their eye makeup brushes. The only eye brush they sent me was the E36, E for eyes, E36 blending brush. I liked it so much, and I was so curious that I did go out and place an order with Sigma and bought a whole bunch of other eye makeup brushes, and they are so good. Now, I've tried some Morphe brushes and I thought they were decent, but having nothing to compare them to, I was like, oh yeah, these are pretty good. And now I've tried Sigma and I'm like, oh, I understand now what everybody talks about when they say that Morphe brushes aren't as good as Sigma. This guy right here, this is the E35 blending brush. This little guy, if you don't have this brush, is so worth getting, because it's got like just the perfect combination of everything you need to blend color in a precise area of your crease. So I may go in with like a big fluffy brush to put down a transition, just kind of like a wash of color, but if I want to have more precision in placing slightly darker colors into the crease of my eye, it's not too floppy. Like the bristles are a little bit more stiff, but they're not hard, they're not scratchy, they're really soft. And it's a thinner brush. It's not like too fluffy and big, so it kind of keeps the product in a more precise area. It's just fantastic. I love it. And I, as a rose gold fiend, the Sigma brushes, you can buy them in like a rose gold ferrule or in the silver ferrule. So the ones they sent me were in silver. I bought some ones in rose gold because I just like the rose gold. They cost the same amount of money. But I have been just very much enamored. The blending brush, the E36 one, this one is amazing for like tiny little detail work. Like let's say you were doing a cut crease and you wanted to just add a little bit more shadow right along the edge of that cut crease. This has such a fine tip to it, but it actually blends. It's not too scratchy or hard. It's beautiful. I can't even. I'm like speechless because every time I've used these brushes, I've been so impressed with how easy it is to do what I want to do. And normally things that are a little bit more of a struggle and I kind of am questioning my abilities to do my own makeup, these brushes just make my life so much easier. So I think that they are great. I do highly recommend them. After kind of testing things out and feeling really good about their brushes, I agreed to be an affiliate partner of theirs. I don't have like a discount code with them right now, but if you were to purchase any Sigma products using my links, I could earn a small commission, which really helps me out. You know, running a beauty channel can be a little bit expensive, so I appreciate you guys supporting me if you decide to use those links. If not, that's totally cool. I just want to be upfront about it. And I swear, okay, this whole video is not going to be about Sigma. I'm not sponsored, guys, not sponsored. But there were a couple other products that they sent that I really, really like that I wanted to tell you guys about. If you watched the video I did at the beginning of May where I was like testing out a whole bunch of new makeup, I tried this blush on for the very first time and I've been obsessed. I've been wearing this so much all month. It's the blush that I'm wearing today. This is the Aura face powder in the shade Cor de Rosa. It is just the perfect neutral blush that goes with literally everything. It's kind of peachy and a little bit pink, but it's like a neutral peachy pink. It's just so flattering. I absolutely love it. It goes on with just the right amount of pigmentation. It's not too sheer, it's not too strong. It's just one of those blushes that's kind of hard to screw up. And it's funny because I saw Jackie Aina using the same blush and talking about how much she loved it. So obviously she has African American skin, so she's a much deeper complexion. So the fact that it worked on her and it worked on me means that it's probably pretty universally flattering. I think this would, you know, not be too dark for people with very pale skin. And if it shows up on dark skin, I think that's amazing. So if you're someone that doesn't like blush, I feel like this is the blush for people that don't like blush because it is not overly pink or red or orange. Like it looks just like a really healthy, natural flush on the cheeks. It lasts really beautifully and it's not insanely priced. I believe this retails for around $20. So not drugstore pricing, but it's not 40 bucks. And then the last Sigma product that they sent me that I was really impressed by is their SigMagic Scrub. So this is really cool actually. It basically is kind of like a solid brush cleanser and one of those scrubby mats had a little baby because it has the built-in little rubber nubs like that you would have on a scrubbing board, but then it actually has the soap in between the bristles here, and it has these little suction cups on the bottom so you can literally stick it to the side of your sink and just scrub your brushes and then rinse them off. It worked so flipping well. My brushes were so clean. I was ridiculously impressed. Now, I had been using the Japanesque solid brush cleanser for a while, and I do really like that one, but I felt like this actually got my brushes cleaner. Like I had a couple of foundation brushes that I had washed, and they still kind of looked a little bit stained. They looked like they still had product in them, and I had tried a bunch of different things to really get it out. And then I just used this once. Bam, gone, fresh like new. The only downside I could see to this is that I have a feeling I'll probably go through it fairly quickly. So if it's something that I have to repurchase often and it's expensive, that to me is a pretty big downside. But it is really nice to have very clean brushes when you are going to go through the hassle of deep cleaning them. So I definitely enjoy this a lot. I'm going to continue to use it, and I think it is just a really handy little thing to have around. So let's move away from Sigma for a second and talk about some other stuff that I've been really enjoying. So when I went to BeautyCon New York back in April, I picked up some nail polishes from Floss. They're kind of like a little indie nail polish brand, and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with these. I think they are so good, and I've never had heard of them before. I've never heard anybody talk about their nail polishes. To be honest, I feel like the way the beauty community is right now, not a lot of people talk about nails unless you're specifically watching maybe like a nail channel or following a nail Instagram or something like that. But these, they're so good. So the brush is perfect. It is kind of more of that paddle shape, which I actually prefer, but it's like not too wide. It's just like kind of in between like a really skinny normal brush and that sort of paddle shaped brush. I find it's just very easy to apply nail polish. I have pretty wide nail beds and I don't get a lot of streaking with this. It just goes on very, very easily. This shade here is called Lipliner. I think it's so cute. It's like the perfect blush, kind of like dark blush pink. It really does look like a nude lip liner. And I seriously felt like this was opaque with one coat. I think it's really nice to do the full two, but it was just so glossy, so opaque, went on so easily, and it lasted for days without chipping. I was so impressed. Plus the packaging is super, super cute. I like this kind of almost Art Deco style cap they have on here. I thought it was really cool. This shade right here is called the Pink Nugget. This one is awesome. It is like a really densely packed rose silver, they called it, glitter. So it's not rose gold, it's like rose silver. So cool. These two together make an amazing manicure. So I definitely would be interested in picking up more colors from them in the future. They have some ridiculous looking holographic nail polishes, like actually hollow. You have to check them out. So I will definitely be linking their website for you guys down below if you're interested in seeing what other colors they have. Then I have a couple of BoxyCharm products this month. I felt like May's BoxyCharm, I'm sure some people weren't really into it, but I personally was pretty impressed. I enjoyed it a lot, and there were two products specifically that I used a bunch as soon as I got them. The first is the Cover FX Blurring Primer. This is a $38 primer, so the fact that they sent it to us in a $21 subscription box was pretty bomb if you ask me. So this is very similar, I would say, to the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Smoothing Primer. It fills in pores. It's a more silicone-y kind of whipped texture primer, but it's not as thick and balmy as a Benefits Porefessional. It's got a little bit more slip to it, but this is beautiful for spackling in those large pores. Like if you have acne scarring or pores or whatnot, any kind of uneven texture, this just makes your skin look airbrushed and it just feels really nice. So I've been enjoying this a lot, and I didn't really have a full-sized primer like this. Like I have a bunch of little samples that I've been using, so it was definitely really nice to add this kind of primer to my collection. And then the other product from this month's box that I've been really into is the Pretty Vulgar the Ink Gel Eyeliner. First of all, can we talk about this packaging for a hot second? Is it not adorable? Like, it's designed to look like a little jar of ink, and it's not one of those cushion liners, which you might think with this packaging it could be. It's actually a gel pot eyeliner. It's kind of like buried way down in there. You really have to like dip your brush all the way into the bottle. I guess, you know, it kind of is like dipping a quill into an ink bottle. Like you have to really dip it in there. I understand why they didn't fill it all the way to the top, but it is a little bit hard to see when you're actually reaching for the product. You kind of have to like really reach all the way down in there. But the actual gel liner itself, it's very matte and very black, and it is also very smooth. I really do like it a lot. I found that it didn't smudge or transfer once it dried down. Is it as good as the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Lacquer Liner? I don't know, actually. I think the L'Oreal one, honestly, might be like my holy grail. That is an incredible gel eyeliner, and it's so affordable. It's like $10 or something like that. So obviously, this is not the best value. You're really paying for the absolutely adorable packaging, but it is good. I definitely feel like I'm not disappointed in it in terms of the quality of the eyeliner, and it really got me inspired to like actually do winged liner. I hadn't worn winged liner in a while on my channel, and I did a few different looks with like a really bright lip like this one and just a really big bold wing and fluttery lashes, and I love that look, and I hadn't done it in so long, so I was so thankful to this to get me inspired again to kind of do that makeup look, and I've just been generally really enjoying this product. Then I have a couple of like rediscovered old favorites. So at the beginning of this year, I set out to do a project panning challenge. I'm not someone that has ever really done a project pan before. I'm not very good at panning things. I do empties, I go through products, but typically I go through a lot more skincare, bath and body stuff, you know, face wipes. Makeup is so much harder for me to finish completely. I don't wear makeup every day, and I'm pretty light-handed with my makeup. I'm not someone that really goes ham and has like powder flying everywhere, so I feel like it takes me a long time, especially with eyeshadows or like blushes, highlighters, to hit pan on something. But I set an intention this year to try to finish 18 products for 2018, and I was gonna give myself the whole year to do it because I knew setting any other smaller time frame was probably unrealistic. And I will be giving you guys an update sometime this month because it's been 6 months on where I'm at with things. But within the last month, I kind of switched out my everyday makeup drawer to incorporate some more of those panning products so I could try to use them up. And I just remembered why I love them so much. The first is this Peak Beauty Expresso Brow Powder. This is again one of those like tiny little indie brands. They've had some products in Ipsy bags before, so you may have seen them in Ipsy if you're a subscriber to that service. But basically this is a little tiny brow powder duo. I've had this for a while, to be honest. It's probably past its expiration date, but it appears to be working perfectly fine. I haven't had any irritation on my skin. It's not doing anything weird, so I'm just gonna keep on using it. Side note, if you hear any noises in the background, I'm dog sitting currently, and Mia is sleeping and snoring, so there may be occasional doggy snores in the background. So I'm wearing this in my brows today, and there's really several reasons why I like this so much. First of all, I find that it looks much more natural. You have two different shades, so you can kind of build it up. You can use a lighter shade in the front of the brow, the deeper shade in the tail. You can kind of really customize it so that it doesn't look too harsh or too heavy. It's also a powder, and I just generally find that powders are a little more forgiving than like a pomade, or sometimes even a pencil can be. It's also just really fast and easy. I can just take this on a little angled brush and run it through my eyebrows, kind of fill everything in. I have very sparse eyebrows and very dark hair, so I feel like it is very noticeable, the areas where I have like more bald spots, and I feel like a powder really gets on the skin and fills things in and actually makes my eyebrows look like eyebrows, which is what I want. It also is not a super powdery powder. Okay, this is gonna be weird. I feel like it has almost like a sticky quality to it, which sounds really weird and unappealing, but in your eyebrows, I feel like it actually gives them some hold. It actually helps them to stay in place, and it lasts so well. When you put this in, it will still look just as good 15 hours later. It's like your eyebrows will still look perfect, which I think is amazing. This also, I believe, has coffee bean extract in it. It has more natural ingredients to kind of not stain the skin as in like it will stain it after you wash it off, but it really does kind of lock into the skin and last all day and kind of helps hold things in place, and it's just a really awesome product. And I'm having such a hard, I've used this so much and I still haven't hit pan. I honestly don't understand it because I've had this for over a year and I've used it on a ridiculously regular basis. So apparently you get quite a bit of product in here as well, so it's definitely worth your money. I mean, it's like 20 bucks, but I would say it'll last you quite a while. Another one that has recaptured my heart this month is the Clarins Instant Light Lip Comfort Oil in the Honey shade. This smells like heaven. It smells like honey. It's delicious. It's sweet, and it's just the most luxurious lip glossy balm kind of situation. I mean, they call it a lip oil, but it's not oily at all. It definitely has more of that thick, plumpy gloss type texture, but it's not sticky at all. It doesn't have any of that kind of effect where your lips kind of stick together. It just has this ability to like coat your lips in this pillowy, soft, moisturizing goodness. This particular version, it's clear, basically. Like, I mean, it looks gold in the tube, but it basically goes on like a clear gloss on your lips. The applicator on this is massive. It is this huge, chunky, fluffy dough foot that just completely coats your lips in one swipe. It feels really nice. And I have so much lip balm. It's obscene how much lip balm I have. But I just hadn't used this in a while, and I decided to bust it out again, and I've just been enjoying it so much. Of course, I was using it a ton and then I got sick. So now I'm kind of like afraid, since I've been using it while I've been ill, like, should I get rid of it? Is it now infected and like tainted with my germs? It's making me really upset because I don't want to throw it away. This is an expensive lip product and it's so nice. But I mean, lip products are things that don't last forever, especially they get germy, so eventually I know I'm gonna have to declutter this, but we've had a good run and I'm really glad that I started using it again. On the lip product train, something I've been using a ton this month is one of the new Too Faced lipsticks. These are like their coconut butter lipsticks that are part of their whole new natural collection. First of all, the packaging is absolutely adorable. I love the lace detailing. But this basically is like it's a very opaque lipstick actually, but it goes on really creamy, almost like you're applying a lip balm. And it's kind of cut like a lip balm too. I think they can kind of get away with this shape with the lighter shades because they're just like a little bit easier and more forgiving. You can kind of slap this on. You don't need it to be as precise because it is a nude lip color. So I have the shade Birthday Suit, which is this really pretty peachy, pinky kind of nude color. It's definitely lighter than my natural lip color is, but it's not so light that it gives me that kind of I look dead, my lips have been completely blanked out kind of a look. I think this is the perfect lip to pair like a smoky eye or something a little bit more dramatic because it kind of takes the attention away from your lips. But I really like the formula. It's very creamy, but it eventually kind of dries down to a matte finish. It hangs onto the lips pretty well, and as it wears away gracefully, super easy to reapply, and they smell nice too. They smell a little bit like sunscreen, like a little bit like coconut sunscreen, but it's not terrible. I don't mind it so much. So, been getting quite a bit of mileage out of this in the last month. Oh, I had another rediscovered favorite this month I forgot about because it was hiding in this giant palette that I have here. First of all, can we talk about how beautiful this palette is? This is a Tarte customizable palette that they had around the holidays, and it is stunning and glittery, and it doesn't shed at all, so I'm kind of obsessed with it. But I keep a lot of my face powders in this palette, like my Tarte blushes and highlighters, a couple Makeup Geek things, but this baby right here is what I want to talk about. This is the Ofra highlighter in Blissful. This is one of my favorite highlighters to wear in the summer because when I'm super pale in the winter time, it doesn't quite look right on my skin tone, but when you have a tan, this is the most beautiful kind of rose gold highlight. Oh my God, look at that. Can we please just have a moment for its beauty? So this is the highlight that I'm wearing on my cheeks today. Ofra highlighters are incredibly silky soft. They're definitely a little more powdery in texture, like they do have a little bit of kick up, but they also are super creamy when you actually blend them into the skin. The only thing is they are a little more on the metallic side, like they don't have any chunkiness to them, but they are very intense, and if you have texture on your skin, I think it will enhance it a little bit. And it can also look a bit stripey on your skin if you don't blend it in really well. What I find the best thing to do with the Ofra highlighters is to apply it and then go back in with your blush brush and blend over the highlight to really meld it in with your blush or your bronzer. Otherwise, you're gonna look like you just have like a stripe of blinding glow, which maybe is what you're going for, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just personally sometimes like a more intense highlight to look a little more melded in with my makeup, so that's kind of how I get around that. But yeah, it's beautiful. I have been thoroughly enjoying this. I hadn't really touched it all winter, and then I busted it back out again, and now I just want to like put it on my face every single day. And then the last two products that I want to talk about are bronzers. The first one is something new that I tried. The other one is like an OG honorable mention that you guys have heard of 1,000,001 times, but like it's a favorite this month, so I had to talk about it. The first one is the Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. This is just a little sample that I've had forever, and I hadn't ever actually used it. I'm obsessed with Milk's, their matte bronzer stick, their cream bronzer. That's another thing I'm trying to pan, and I have just like a teeny bit left, and it won't die, it won't finish. I'm like using it, and I'm like, when will you ever end? And I was kind of waiting to finish the Milk bronzer stick to use this sample, but I just basically got impatient and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give this a whirl. I think Jessica Braun was talking about this product and how she really liked it when she was doing her bronzer declutter. So I was like, you know what, I have that. I want to use it. So on a day that I was doing a more light makeup look, if you guys saw one of my other videos in the last month, I was talking about how to do like a no foundation summer makeup look. I've been loving doing that lately. So I basically go in with like just concealer and a lot of cream products and kind of come up with a very fresh, dewy, healthy makeup look. And this guy is perfect for that kind of a makeup look. It is so creamy and it blends out so beautifully. Like, not all bronzer sticks are necessarily created equal, but this one is just like butter on the skin. I found that it blended into my skin really, really easily, and it just gives you a beautiful contoured kind of bronzed appearance on the skin. Now, I am someone that has more golden undertones. I am more of like a light medium complexion, so it personally worked perfect on my skin tone, but I could see that it may not be universally flattering. If you have a very, very fair complexion, or obviously if you have a medium or deep complexion, this is probably not gonna cut it. I don't know if they have multiple shades of this, to be honest, or if it's just like a one and done type product. It would be nice if they have multiple shades because the actual formula is really, really good. But if it does happen to work for your skin tone, it is a really bomb contour stick. I like this a lot. And then finally, butter bronzer. So I have busted this out again. Obviously, this is like an all-time favorite that I've talked about a bajillion times on my channel. I'm trying to pan this guy this year, and it's been slow going, even though I've used this what feels like 300 times. But I had been also trying to pan my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Solo Bronzer, so I feel like that was primarily the bronzer I used for the first like 4 months of 2018, and then in May I was like, I really want to go back to butter bronzer. It's one of my favorites for the summertime. It's just so creamy and beautiful. It's the bronzer I'm wearing today. It just blends out like a dream, and it smells like a tropical vacation. It's delicious. So it was really nice using this month because I know that I love it, but I hadn't reached for it in a while, and it was just that moment of re-falling in love with butter bronzer all over again. If you guys haven't tried this, it's just great. And they did release apparently 2 more deeper shades, so if the original was too light for you, maybe one of the deeper shades will work out. So that is it for my monthly favorites. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about all of these fun beauty products. If you like these kinds of videos, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your support. And again, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you want to see more of my videos, make sure you click that button before you go. I think my lungs are getting a little angry at me right now for talking so much. I'm feeling the sickness is coming back. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.